Hey wild one, we are stepping into April and can you feel it? The land is shifting, the light's changing, everything is starting to move again, including us. But this month is not about rushing into bloom. It is about tending to what's just starting to stir. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the energy of April, what is happening astrologically, which plant spirits are showing up for us, and the kind of spells, rituals, and shamanic practices that are really aligned with this part of the wheel. So if you've been feeling that pull to reconnect, then this video is for you. Hey everyone, I am Emma, shamanic witch, earth medicine woman, and your guide to all things wild and seasonal and magical. And you are watching The Wild and Untamed Way. And if you are new here, welcome to this little corner of the internet where we walk with the rhythms of the earth, we tend to the turning of the wheel, and we keep our shamanic witchcraft both rooted in spirit and in soil. And if you've been here for a while, you know the kettle's on, the herbs are steeping, and I'm so glad that you are here. So let's talk about April, because April always feels like a bit of a threshold to me. Does it feel like that to you as well? The land is coming alive, buds, blossom, bird song, everything is stirring both above and below. You can literally feel it in the air, in the light, even in your bones. And there's movement, but it's still early, right? It is still soft. So this is a month of emergence. It is a time for listening to what's waking up within you and also what is still feeling a little bit tender. You don't need to rush into blooming because April is an invitation to just kind of grow at your own pace. And that's what I love about this energy. It's also the perfect time to shake off what's been clinging to you from winter, to clear out a little bit of space, to take a breath, and to really start listening in. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just need to kind of meet yourself where you are. So let's talk about what is happening, first of all, in the skies this month and how you can actually work with that energy, not just watch it go by. So first of all, we have got the full moon in Libra on the 12th. This is one of the moons that is known as the pink moon. Not because it turns pink in the sky, sadly, that would be really cool, but it's actually named after wild ground phlox that actually blossoms around this time and is pink. But it does carry the energy of that early blooming, of that softness meeting strength. And Libra brings in themes of balance and beauty and how we relate to others, but it is also how we relate to ourselves as well. So it's a really good time to look at where things feel a little bit out of alignment and look at kind of what might need to shift. You might want to do some mirror work around self-worth, a little cord cutting if you've been carrying energy around you that isn't yours. I've actually got a free cord cutting bundle you can use this moon if you would like to. It includes a ritual, a guided meditation, and also a workbook, and I will pop the link below if you want to grab that. And if you journey, this is a beautiful moon to sit beneath, both physically or in spirit, and to ask your guides and ask your higher self, what am I ready to let go of in order to return to balance, right? That lovely kind of beautiful Libra balance. Then we've got the new moon in Taurus on the 27th. This is earthy and sensual and steady. This one is all about slowing down and just coming back into the body. I don't know about you, but I often find myself living in my head. So this is a perfect opportunity to really come back into the body. It is a beautiful time to set intentions around money, around home, around stability, nourishment, anything that just feels really deeply rooted. So think slow magic, seed planting, body-based rituals, just grounding in what actually matters to you. And you could even journey to the spirit of Taurus or to the earth herself and ask, what wants to be planted in me right now, and what kind of soil do I need for it to grow? We're also coming out of a bit of a crazy tangle astrologically as well. So Mercury and Venus are both going to be finishing their retrogrades in April, thank the gods. And if March has felt a little bit like, I don't know, a bit emotionally sticky, or communication was all over the freaking place, you haven't imagined it, right? That energy is going to lift as this month moves on. So it is a really good time to reflect on what those retrogrades actually stirred up for you and how you want to move forward from now. Next up, let's talk about April Fool's Day, because for me, it's less about silly pranks and it is more about remembering what was lost. Hear me out. So there is a belief that it goes back to the 1500s when France shifted from the Julian calendar to the Gregorian calendar. Now, before that change, New Year's Eve was actually celebrated around the spring equinox in alignment with the land and the light and the turning of the season. I don't know about you, but that makes far more sense to me than the middle of winter. I've done videos about wintering and being aligned with the seasons, and the 1st of January is now New Year's Day just never felt like New Year to me. Everything is hibernating. Everything is gone inward. The land is barren, right? We are not in this fresh energy. And this is why I believe that New Year's resolutions don't work, because our ancestors would not have been setting goals to eat salad in the winter, right? I've barked on about this a lot. I'm going to bring it back in now. So after the shift, New Year's Day was moved to January the 1st. And those who kept celebrating in March and in April in rhythms with nature were actually mocked and called April Fools. Now, this is a belief. I don't know this for certain if that is the truth, but let's be honest, it wouldn't be the first time that the old ways were actually turned into a joke to stop people from following them. So for me, I like to reclaim this quietly, gently, but I see April the 1st as a bit of a threshold. It is a time to step into the new year, into your own way, into your own rhythm, new life, and it is just a beautiful time to embrace new starts. It's also a beautiful moment to work with the Fool card in your tarot deck. So there is a lovely practice where you can find the Fool in the deck, and then you look at the card before, and then you look at the card after. The card before shows you where you've come from, and the card after shows you what you're walking into. So this is a great practice, but if you want to kind of elevate this, you could also place those 3 cards on your altar. You could light a candle, and then you could ask, where am I being invited to begin again? Or what would I do if I actually trusted myself completely? These are great questions to ask working with these particular cards. April is also full of old sayings, you know, those little kind of one-liners that are passed down through generations. And these are often tied to things like the land or the weather. Let me give you an example. So things like April showers bring May flowers, right? We've all heard that one. Or when April blows its horn, it's good for hay and corn. So it's easy for us to kind of dismiss these as just old farmers' phrases, but there's a much deeper rhythm underneath, a way of living in harmony with the seasons, and something that our ancestors did without actually needing to label it as spiritual. So this time of year would have been that turning point, right? It would have been a time to start preparing the land, tending to the animals, watching the skies, and we can still really tap into that in our own way as well. So maybe not with a plow or a flock, but with how we tend to ourselves, our homes, our altars, our energy. So just kind of listen into that. And if you are somebody who journeys or listens to the land in a much deeper way, this is a really beautiful time to connect with the spirit of places. So ask the land, you know, what do you need from me? You know, just tune into the land where you are. What do you need from me? How can I honor you this season? And the answers aren't always loud, right? But they will come. So it's going to help you to really start to tune into your intuition and really connect with the land around you. And of course, one of the simplest ways that we can stay in rhythm with the seasons is actually by working with the plants that are showing up for us. And these are the ones that really have medicine for this exact moment in the wheel of the year. So let's take a look at 3 plant allies that I love working with in April. Each one has their own energy, their own spirit, their own way of guiding us back to ourselves. So first of all, we have got Nettle, fierce, fiery, full of life. Nettle is one of those plants that really embodies this time of year. It's bold, it's full of vitality, it is not afraid to sting when boundaries are crossed. And she is a brilliant ally for energy work, for protection, for building strength, both physically and energetically. You can drink her as a tea to support your body as it wakes up over winter, or you can work with her in spell work where you are calling back your power. Just remember, she asks for respect. So gloves on and gratitude given. Next up, we have got one of my favorites, Dandelion. Bright, bold, and beautifully underestimated. Dandelion is full of resilience and full of movement. She helps things to shift. When I was at school, you would pick dandelions and people would say, oh, don't pick dandelions because you'll wet the bed. That's not just an old wives' tale, because dandelions are actually diuretics, so they can help you to pee. But I love this because she's all about movement. So think of her as an ally for releasing what is heavy, and also the root of the dandelion is very grounding. It's very supportive for digestion. The leaves are going to help you to have a lovely kind of clearing out. And magically, she is brilliant for wish work, for spirit communication, for letting go. So especially if you've been holding on to things that aren't yours, work with Dandelion. Blow her seeds and then send it off with an intention. And finally, the last plant, actually the tree that I want to talk about, is Willow, because Willow's season begins mid-April through to mid-May in the Celtic tree calendar. And a willow is one of my favorite trees. She's deeply feminine, deeply intuitive, and she is connected to the waters of the land as well. And she can really help us to soften into emotion, to trust our own inner tides, to find flexibility when things get a little bit rigid. And to work with her, you might want to just sit with a willow tree, maybe lean against her beautiful, strong trunk, and maybe leave an offering, or you could use willow branches on your altar. And she's going to be especially powerful in moon work. So under that pink moon, so powerful for journeying and really connecting to your own emotional body as well. And just like her magic, her medicine also runs deep. Willow bark is my absolute favorite natural painkiller, easing both physical but also emotional aches as well. And if you're working with her medicinally, then spring is the best time to harvest her bark. This is because the sap is rising and the plant is waking up, and that's when the medicine is most potent. So, and also when she's going to be most willing to share it with you as well. So it's going to be easier for you to be able to strip that willow bark, but always ask, always offer something in return, and always, please, only take what you need. And really, that's the heart of magic, isn't it? You know, relationship, respect, listening to what's ready, whether that's plants or the land or in yourself. So let's have a look now at some of the ways that you can work magically with this energy of early spring. The kind of magic that really thrives in April is the slow kind. The earthy, patient, I've been doing this a lot in this video, the earthy, patient, grounded sort that really asks you to show up, to tend to the soil, to trust what's going on underneath the surface. It's not flashy, it's not fast, it's the kind of magic that builds foundations, right? In your life, in your practice, in your relationship with the land around you. So this is a brilliant time for working on grounding and stability, especially if the start of the year felt a little bit wobbly. So April brings this real steady, fertile energy that is perfect for magic around money and home and career, or anything that really needs proper roots before it can grow. So it's about tending and not forcing. And I always say that if you're working with earth energy, be prepared to get your hands dirty, right? Both physically and metaphorically. Build altars, plant seeds, make a little sacred space where your intentions can live and they can breathe. It's also the perfect time for fertility magic. And I don't mean baby making. I'm talking, I mean, you can, but I'm talking about new beginnings, creative fertility, project fertility, magic around starting something. So April is full of that energy, right? So if there is something that you're ready to bring to the world, a new idea, a new version of yourself, this is a beautiful time to work with that energy. You could bury a seed with your intention. You could work with nettle and dandelion in a ritual. You could journey to meet the spirits of those plants, or even the spirit of what wants to be born through you. And because the land is waking up right now, April is also the ideal time for connecting with the spirits of nature, the elementals, the plants, the trees, the winds. You don't have to do anything massively elaborate if you don't want to. I kind of like low energy stuff this time of year. So just go outside, sit on the land, listen, build a relationship, leave offerings, speak out loud, right? The land is there and it will listen. So learn how to listen again. And then there is this kind of clearing work, right? So we've all heard of spring cleaning, and April energy is brilliant for purification. So before we can move forward, we have to let go. And the earth can really support that right now. So cleanse your space, cleanse your energy body. You can use smoke or salt or water or egg cleansing. I'm probably going to do another video on that actually, but whatever your practice calls. So this is a time to really just shake off anything that's lingering from the winter and just make space for what is next. And finally, if you work with guides, if you work with your ancestors, this is also a really powerful time to reach out. We often think of Samhain around that time to connect with our ancestors, but you might want to journey to meet a guide who can actually walk you through this next cycle, or you might just want to light a candle and ask your ancestors, you know, what do I need to remember right now? What part of me is ready to rise? And you know, that's really what April is about, isn't it? It's this quiet, steady rising, the kind that comes from those deep roots, right? So this is the kind of energy that you don't want to rush. So as we move through April, we are also edging closer to Beltane, the fire festival that marks the height of the spring and the gateway into summer. And if you know me, you'll know this is one of my absolute favorite Sabbats. It is going to be amazing if you are wanting to work on fertility. So it's a great time to actually try for a baby. And I've actually created a full video all about Beltane, what it is, how you can celebrate, and why it is such a powerful time for sensual, creative, heart-led magic. I will pop the link below. Go and check it out if you haven't seen it yet. And I've also got something very special coming soon as well, which is my Beltane Bundle. So this is designed to help you to have the most connected, embodied, and magical Beltane yet. So you'll get everything from the history of the Sabbat to tarot spreads and spells and foraging guides and seasonal recipes and crafting ideas and journal prompts and a crystal grid template. There is absolutely loads in there. So it is a beautiful way for you to work with the energy of Beltane. And if you want early access to that, when it launches in just a couple of weeks, make sure you are on my mailing list. I will put the link below. You can also comment and just say, I want the Beltane bundle, and I will send that over to you when it is ready. And you can also, if you're not already, come over and join me in my free Facebook group. It's called The Wild and Untamed Ones, and it is a place where you can connect with like-minded people. There's some behind the scenes chats. I share a little bit into my life, and also seasonal threads of what's actually happening. So there you go, my lovelies. That is your Shamanic Witch's Guide to April. I hope that it has sparked something for you, or it's helped you to feel a bit more grounded in the season, in your body, in your practice. And yeah, if anything in this video resonates with you, I would love to hear from you. So please pop in the comments what resonate with you. Come over, chat with me over in the Facebook group. And don't forget to like this video, to subscribe to the channel. I am really close to hitting 5,000 subscribers. So if you're watching this and you're not subscribed, please do subscribe. It would mean the world to me. The channel is almost a year old as I am recording this now. So to hit that 5K in my first year would be absolutely amazing. And don't forget, check out the links below for the Beltane video, the free cord cutting bundle, and you can hop on my email list as well. So there we go, folks. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking your time to watch this. And just a reminder to take your time this month as well. Listen in, go gently, and I will see you all very soon. Stay cool, won't you? I'll see you in the next video.